And welcome back. Okay, we have the Tangula X5. This is going to be a full review. Going to give you guys a summary of everything on my Rohas Streaming Tech. If you guys aren't familiar with my Rohas Streaming Tech channel, over there I do have a breakdown of everything on there in a little bit more detailed. This one's just going to be your summary video. That way you guys get the information. You guys can make a smart decision if you guys want to get one of these things. Okay. If you guys are brand new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. Here we go. This is the Tangula. You get your power cable, optical audio, HDMI, aux, or headphones, I guess you could put there. Ethernet, standard USB. USB 3.0, and then a TF card slot, which reads up to 64 gigs, nothing past it. I am using a remote with this thing, and you guys will see why in a minute. Yeah, I've reviewed a 4K capture card recently, and I was able to confirm it's 4K by putting on the PlayStation, by putting on a FireCube, by putting on other streaming third-party devices. And you guys could research it within my channel. All that information is there, so I know this is a legitimate 4K capture card. I don't want anybody telling me anything different. We are going to use the remote also. I'll give this thing a second to boot up. The remote, they have instructions at the back to connect this thing to your TV. You got your set TV in, volume up, down. You have volume for the device, forward and backwards, help, apps, home, reverse. It has a settings button that I know doesn't work. Help actually works for settings. It's got a mouse button, numbers. Yeah, pretty standard remote. I'm not a fan of it. That's why I do use my remote to get by easier. So you do have your Play Store. First question I always get asked is, do I have to sign in? Absolutely, you have to sign in. So for some reason it's not working. There we go. It's a little slow. When you do get the box, I don't know if you guys can see it. There's a blue light right there. There is a time there, and it says the Wi-Fi, which means Wi-Fi is connected. YouTube, we'll go ahead and test this out and get this out of the way real quick. YouTube works pretty good, and it does pull, or I should say it does read 4K content, which means if the codex is there, it's going to pull it. Now, is it actually displaying it? That's a different question. All right, so when you first boot it up, it is going to be a little bit slow, which is normal. Typically when it's doing this thing, it's like reading any kind of updates. It's kind of seeing like if there's anything that it needs. So just be a little bit patient when you do plug it in. It is going a little bit slow because it is updating everything when you first install it. It does come with its own HDMI cable and power cable, so keep that in mind. All right, this is a 4K video. If you guys aren't familiar with my channel called Rohas Travels, I have a lot of traveling stuff in there. If you guys want to come travel with me, there you go. So right off the bat, it looks okay. If you do hit enter and you come over here to the settings, it's pulling at 720p. Let's go ahead and go to 4K. And again, it should be able to read it. It's reading already that this is a 4K video, and there's codecs in here that will be able to read it. Again, if it's not going to display it, that's different. You can see the quality jump is really, really good. Now, I have noticed with some of these devices that sometimes it does struggle, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, it was playing nice until I jinxed it myself, so now it's paused. I'm going to hold the remote here so nobody thinks that I'm doing anything or I'm pausing anything. This is just exactly what happens with some of these devices. Now, if you are hardwired to it, it should be a little bit better. I am on Wi-Fi, and the Wi-Fi I am pulling about 500 gigs of download speeds. I shouldn't have any issues. That's a funny face of mine. But as you can see, it does struggle a little bit. So I'm gonna hit that home button now just to get out of here. Files, if you have anything downloaded here, this is where you're gonna go to your local disk, and you're gonna find all your stuff there in that download folder. I'm going to close my face here. There's at the top that little brush. If you click on it, it kills all the processes, whatever it's running. I only opened up one app and it killed 27 process, whatever that means. So you do have your K app here. I'm going to go to App Store in a second. Firefox, wallpaper, settings, all your settings here. This is all your stuff that you're going to want. If you want to kill an app, that it's going to be all there. On the remote, if you do click on help right up there at the top, it's going to open up that same section. For some reason, if I hit that bottom button here, it doesn't do anything. So it is what it is. At the bottom here, if you hit plus, this opens up all your apps that you could put in there. So pretty nice. When you hit the back button, for whatever reason, it jumps up to the top. And as you can see here, the remote's not that active. I'm going to go to apps and go ahead and pause the video here if you need to. I'm just going to go through a couple of these things. I downloaded IDA64. Everything else here came with the box. So you get like app linked, app installer. Oh, I wonder if app installer might have, because I did get IDA64 and through files, I went through download and it didn't do it. So, okay. So I don't see IDA64 in here either, even though I did download it from Downloader. So Netflix is not 4K. I'm guessing Disney Plus and the rest of this won't be in 4K. If you go to TA Store, people are always wondering, well, what's the big deal with Tangula? This is the apps that they have and that they're in charge of. TARS TV and Tang TV and activation. So this is where you go to get your stuff. Now let's go back here to apps and we're going to go to IDA64. For me, this is the most important thing because it reads the device no matter what the box says. So it is advertised at 128 gigs of storage. You're left with 107, which is still a lot, but it also uses a lot. It is 4 gigs of DDR3 RAM. It is using an Amlogic chipset, which I love, Amlogic. It is the AH216. Haven't heard of that one. When it comes to your CPU, ARM Cortex A55, I kind of wonder why they didn't go with a little bit higher. It is using 64-bit ARM at 32-bit mode. Yeah. Now, here's the most important thing, which I found kind of weird. Screen resolution. If you look just right there, it says 1920 by 1080p. So this is a 4K capture card, and it's going to pull 4K, and it's going to display 4K. And I've tested this in multiple devices, and it will tell you if it's a 4K device. This thing is saying it's a 1080p device. So keep that in mind too. I am an extreme picker. Like I have a giant TV. Once you start going past 65-inch TVs, once you get a 4K, you will see a difference. If you have a budget TV that's bigger than 65, you might not see the difference, but I do have a really nice Samsung, and I could definitely tell a 1080p video versus a 4K video. So letting you guys know, just so that we have that information. GPU Mali G31, not bad. Android running 11. The device is not rooted, which you kind of don't need it anyway, because you have Downloader, Google, you can download pretty much whatever you want. Now codecs, it does have the Amlogic stuff, the Android stuff, the Google stuff, I should say. Great decoders, and you're gonna get quadruplets: decoder C2 and encoder C2, also OMX decoder and OMX encoder. So you got MP4, 3GPP, AMR, FLOC, ALA, MLAW, MPEG, Opus, RAW, and Vorbis. Now they do have DTS HD, which is great, and it should cover a lot of your stuff when it comes to surround sound. It should be able to pass that through just fine. Now, when it comes to video, you do have Dolby Vision, which is great, DVHE, DVAV, and DAV1, awesome too. All three of them are Dolby Vision. You do have H263, H264, RM10, 20, 30, 40, MPEG-2, MPEG-4, WVC1, AVC, HEVC, 3GPP. You're going to have everything under the sun that you're going to want to have. It doesn't have H265. but it has everything else that's going to read in 4K and of course a solid 1080p. It's going to look really clean, and then it's going to be a upscale because the device is pulling 1080p. It's reading 4K, so it's just going to upscale it to a solid maybe 2K. But it's not going to be true 2K. It's not going to be 4K at all. It's just going to be able to read the codecs. So just keep that in mind. Now, I did talk about, issues with this remote. I'm going to show you guys this here. If I go to, I know a lot of people are used to Downloader. If I go to apps, go to Downloader. If I'm like, I want to go to my browser, this little red mark thing here is extremely squirrely. And I mean way squirrely. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to show you guys something just really, really simple. I'm going to hold here, and actually deleted quick that time. I'm going to use my remote just because I don't want to type the whole thing. Just google.com, and yeah, super simple, easy. Now, switching it back over to here. If I want to type in that little search bar, it's extremely like, look at this. I'm barely tapping it, and it's just like, it does have a mouse. So if I do click on the mouse, I should be able to come here. But when I select enter, as you see, it's turning into a little cursor. If I select enter on that, it's pulling something else out. If I clicked something else, why does it do that? I don't know. When I use my remote and it has a trackpad here, as you can see, again, it's turning that on. If I click enter, now I'm pulling up the Ravens. So it forces you to use this guy big time. So you got to get out of that mouse, and I have to like try really hard to get in there. Did I get it? Nope. Did I get it? Oh, I got it. So there you go. So now I could finally use this remote and type in, not APK, IDA 64 APK, which is, I personally love this app because it reads everything. But as you can see how much of a headache that was. Now, let's get out of Downloader. But you might be saying like, yeah, but what about some of these apps? APK Pure kind of has the same issue where I'm like, okay, cool. Confirmed. You want to install APKs you downloaded? Yes, I want to install. So here we go. I'm going to hit install. Don't remind me again. Just do it. Let's just say I want to look at what it is. Sometimes what happens, and right now it's kind of like working decently. If I go to the top here and I want to go to the top corner, top right corner, and it's really hard to get to that spot. So again, using my remote, I can come here to that top right corner, click on that down button, and it's going to display here all my apps. The only thing too here is with this APK Pure, it has ads. And it has a lot of ads, and now it's redirecting me to the Google Play Store for whatever reason. I'm hitting back, and I'm hitting back, and I'm hitting back. So at this point, I don't know what to do. It gets stuck on some stuff like this, so I just have to hit the home button, hit APK Pure, and it just continues to do this. As you can see here, it's just very. There's a lot of issues with this thing. So here we go. Finally got out. It's just a pain in the butt. The other thing is if I'm here and I want to look at all these apps that is installing, I don't know if you can tell, but right next to my head right here, it looks like it's highlighted. You see that? If I click down, it goes all the way below to the bottom right hand corner. It says update all. If I go up, it's highlighted again. Down, update all. And I can't see what needs to get updated. So if I click update all, I'm like, okay, well, what are we updating? It doesn't tell me. Let me now it just kicked me out. So killed processes. I'm trying to come down here to this guy here, APK Pure. So yeah, so like I said, there's just a lot of things here, and this video is going to be extremely long if I continue showing you guys just how much of a headache it is. So pretty much this device, if you have a smart TV, use YouTube on your smart TV. If you got Disney, Netflix, all that stuff. Most of us have smart TVs nowadays anyway. Those devices will show 4K in its true form on your smart TV. So use that device. This device is not meant for that. This device is meant for their own apps, their own Tangula apps. And so you're paying hundreds of dollars pretty much for just that. The rest of the stuff, as you can see, was just a pain in the butt. And I've tested this stuff. I've tested several of these devices, and sometimes it works great. Sometimes it might work like that. So I just wanted to be sure that you guys are fully aware of how it is. Their apps works great when it works. But again, for some of the stuff to work, you have to just be hopeful that it works forever or works for at least a year. I say if it works for a year, you got your money's worth. Yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I know it's going to be a lot of mixed reactions on this thing, and I try to get you guys here all the latest and greatest stuff. For me, this device is not for me. I do things a different way, and this device, as good as it is, it has a lot of work to go before it's actually smooth sailing from here. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. As always, you guys take care of each other. See you guys in the next one.